Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, where we are once again hosting the biggest drift event that Europe has ever seen. My name is Ian Waddington. I'm joined alongside my very good friend, Jacob Gettins. Jacob, we are at the Red Bull DriftMasters finale. Well, and this is how we're standing after qualifying. This was the scores. They went into it head-to-head. It was, and then we see these incredible onboard shots from our Red Bull Media House team as the head drops.
Flowing out of Piotr, realizing what has just happened to his championship race as the clock counted down to the end of his season.
Yep. It's going to be our wildcard driver, Alan Hines from Ireland, in this Nissan Silvia S15. Took him down in a very scrappy battle. Judges saying that Van Aert needs to clean it up. Alan Hines, though, the sim drifter, the man that had to prove himself here at DriftMasters. He may be good in the virtual world, but it's all about being good in the real world right now. Revs are building, cars are in gear, and they're creeping off the line. This is the first battle of our top 16 underway here at the final of DriftMasters. They fire in Hines into that first outside zone. Look at Van Aert, though, aggressive, tags the wall, tags Alan Hines, has to back out of it. Oh! Clint Van Aert mistimes the transition and hits the wall head on in front of the grandstand as Alan Hines will be shown a red flag, unsafe to cross the circuit. And we wait to see if Clint Van Aert is okay. He's in the car moving. It looks like he's given the thumbs up to our marshal. And that is big.
To the car have really come together. He has to finish this season on a big upswing, and this is his opportunity to go against a Japanese driver who is completely on form.
For the final battles of the evening, they get the cars into gear and they're off the line. Nakamura to chase down Makiva. Through the gears they go as Makiva fires into outside zone one. Little dab of the handbrake now sets himself up perfectly. Both guys touch the wall though, and Makiva starts to shred the back bumper off the back of that 180SX as they flick through once again. Makiva into outside zone 4, sets himself up nicely, but look at this, no shaking. The Japanese driver Nakamura shallows off the angle, trying to put the front wheel on the door. Oh, so much grip, he pops a wheel off the tarmac. We've not seen that all evening as Nakamura now hunts down Makiva. Both of them touch the wall. They go for the final outside zone. They're into the wall again. It certainly is. Well, Makiva, for me, look, those wall taps, that's motorsport entertainment for us, but I'm telling you, for the judges, that's a mistake. We'll see how this one goes as they swap them around and they go for it again. Look at this, Makiva, super aggressive as he goes down the door of Naoki Nakamura. They fire into outside zone 1. Nakamura into the wall. Look at this, Makiva tagging the door already, pushing Naoki Nakamura around the circuit. They transition back. Makiva goes for it. He's on the hunt right now for a kill as he goes for the front wheel of Nakamura's GR86. They both fire through. They look for outside zone 5, collected as they transition together, perfectly timed. But look at Makiva, he's onto the front wheel. He's glued to the side of that GR86. They go wheel to wheel across the line. Wow!
Let's go!
Well, here we go. Slide him left for Makiva, right for Nakamura. Who's going to be? It's going to be one vote for Nakamura. It's Nakamura getting the win and advancing through. And Dwayne Makiva says, well, to lead out Adam LZ, Jason Benet, the higher qualifier.
Right into the pocket right away. His chase, if not the fastest vehicle we've got on grid right now. But Jason Benet is absolutely on form, and he's got more of a stylistic flair than we've ever seen.
Yeah, he certainly has. Well, they're off the line and ready to go. LZ on the podium here in 2024. He'd love to do it again as they fire in. Nice initiation from both guys. LZ goes wider than Jason Benet, but look at this. Jason Benet opens up the throttle and he's got some grip dialed into that Subaru BRZ as they fire into outside zone 4. Adam LZ goes for the front wheel, but look at the pace in that Subaru BRZ, but he's shallow on outside zone 4. Benet trying to escape the grip of Adam LZ right now as the American goes for it, shallows off the angle, puts the wheel towards the door. They fire through outside zone 7 and across the line.
I was trying to read what the dash said there. I thought it might have said all is safe, but I wasn't quite sure.
Well, here we go, car slam into gear. Looks like they're ready to go. They get the green light. The LZ to lead out Jason Benet. A spot in the top 8 awaits for one of these drivers. Here we go. Oh! Contact before initiation. Left for Benet, right for Adam LZ. It's one vote for LZ. And it's Adam LZ getting the win, and he says to Jason Benet, I'm sorry, man. David Jacob, this is DriftMasters. It's going to be Pavel Korpolinski. And Matt, he would love nothing more than to podium here, but Korpolinski needs to win to keep that third place in the championship alive. Here we go, they fire in. It's a nice initiation from Korpolinski. We don't expect anything else from the Surgeon, but that opens the door for Falvey. Looks like they've wound him up in the pits. The aggression from the young Irishman is now starting to shine through as he goes for it. He needs to claim back some of that lost proximity. speed. He does, he shallows up the angle, gets onto the front wheel, but then he loses ground as Korpolinski fires through the centre of the circuit. That carbon Kevlar S15 is back in the mix once again. He's onto the door as Korpolinski dials on the angle for the final outside zone across the line. Look at this from Korpolinski. He actually takes a step back, sits onto that side, now starts to creep off the line. It's going to be Falvey to lead out Korpolinski. Falvey's up and gone. No messing around. He wants to get this one done and in the bag. The final Polishman left in competition. Korpolinski, can he keep the dream alive? As Falvey fires in, now Korpolinski starts to rein in the young Irishman. They fire through that inner zone. It's beautiful from Conor Falvey as he puts it into outside zone 4. But look at Korpolinski, the aggression as he dives onto the door, straight onto the front wheel. No messing around from the Polishman. They come through the centre of the circuit. Korpolinski almost overtakes Falvey as he gets a transition done into outside zone 6 and then full throttle, no messing around as Korpolinski once again makes a dive onto the door.
Wow, that is putting an exclamation mark.
Both guys, slide them left for Korpolinski, right for Falvey. It's one vote for Korpolinski. It's a one more time vote for Vernon. It's Korpolinski gets the win. Pavel Korpolinski.
Maybe not the way he wanted the win, but having that little bit of momentum.
Look at this, the visor goes down for Mika Keski-Korpi, and we forget that Espen Road yet to have a battle on the circuit. Mika Keski-Korpi off the line and fires in that F22 BMW into that outside zone. Look at Keski-Korpi, he's absolutely dialed in the zone, but Espen Road's not letting him get away. These two go for it, absolute titans as they fire into outside zone 4. A little lost ground for Espen Road as he now shallows up the angle, looks for the front wheel of that BMW F22. They fire through the centre of the circuit. Espen Road still with him as Mika Keski-Korpi makes a massive mistake, finds himself off of that outside zone, but Espen Road makes a bigger one. For the young Finnish driver, they go back on the line. Espen Road will lead them out. The Norwegian driver yet to really prove himself in DriftMasters, and another guy that could be fighting for Rookie of the Year 2025. They come off the line and through the gears. They slam into it as Espen Road puts that E46 BMW into that first outside zone. Mika Keski now starts to rain on him, starts to look for that rear wheel. They go for the transition back, and it's very well timed from both guys. Look at Keski-Korpi, absolute beautiful as he puts that car on shallow angle, trying to keep up. The young Norwegian now starts to dial in, starts to mirror the angle. They transition back across the circuit once again as Espen Road puts the back bumper along the wall. Mika Keski-Korpi holds it together, looks for the wheel, looks for the door, and dials on the angle.
Wow, set of runs, they both have to be very proud.
Here we go, slide them left for Keski-Korpi, or right for Espen Road. It's a one more time from Kalas. It's all Espen Road from Vernon. It's going to be Espen Road, and yet again, it is the 2024 champion, Laurie Heinen.
This is going to be crazy. Lowry, he needs this. Connor, he's just having a good time.
He certainly is. These guys are going to party right now on circuit as they come off the line. Heinen to lead them out. Look at this, Shanahan and Heinen go for it. They fire into outside zone 1. Shanahan shallows up the angle, now dives onto the front wheel, avoids contact with Laurie Heinen. They flick it through inside zone 3, but look at Shanahan. He's absolutely glued to the side of that NASCAR V8 powered 180SX. They get all the way through 4 and they look for 5 and it's still there. Oh, wow, what a transition from Connor Shanahan as he now fires back onto the door once again, up onto the inside, more angle thrown at it from both guys. You get without causing a huge accident.
No, man, wild, and now we stagger them back at Laurie, taking it a little bit wider off to the side. Very interesting.
Yeah, so it starts to creep off the line as soon as they get that green light ready to go, and it will be Shanahan to lead them out, Laurie Heinen to give chase as they fire in. Laurie Heinen now, look at this rack, reels in Shanahan straight away, onto the door he goes as Shanahan wants to lay down a perfect lead line, keeps the front end of that GT86 clean, but Heinen almost backwards entry into outside zone 4, and look at Laurie Heinen, he's coming for it now. He means business as he puts that car where it needs to be. The sound of that car in this arena is nothing short of unbelievable. They fire in, they touch body panels, they bang wheels as they get into the wall. Shanahan onto the wall and across the line.
Yeah.
Well, here we go, slide left for Heinen and right for Shanahan. It's one vote for Heinen and it's a one vote for a one more time. Oh, it's going to be a one more time. And Laurie
working perfectly is not something that has happened very often this season.
Listeners of Dean shines through once again as he slams that Ford Mustang into gear, gets the revs built up, ready to go as he comes off the line to lead out Diogo Correa for spot in the top 8 of Wakes. They fire through left to right into initiation. Look at Correa, he's not letting the machine get away, and he knows that James Dean will drive 110% on a perfect lead line. And what can Correa do? Can he follow him? Can he stick with the Mustang? And he certainly can at the moment. Now has to shallow up the angle, jumps in, back up onto the door he goes. goes as Diogo Correa loses a little ground once again through the centre of the circuit, but makes the transition work. Jumps in to outside zone 6. James Dean looks flawless so far on that outside line. Long contact, wheel to wheel, almost a big wreck. To go green to lead them out. Correa from Portugal to lead out James Dean from Ireland. He slams it through the gears. They fire into initiation. Dean almost backwards in that car, then shallows up the angle to keep that front wheel towards the door of Diogo Correa's BMW E92. They flick through that inside zone and back out for 4. Correa looks like he's on an absolute flyer, but does he have to do too much here? He must. He needs to keep himself into the pocket and into the zone. Dean doesn't have to go too hard, but you try telling James Dean to back down 10% as he goes wheel to wheel with him in outside zone 6. The final outside zone coming as Correa fires more angle at it. Dean sticks with him across the line.
It is amazing. James did not need to drive that aggressive, knowing the other.
For Dean, right for Correa. It's one vote for James Dean. It's going to be James Dean getting the win, advancing through to the top 8. Unfortunately, we lose. The ball back on the line. Jack Shanahan leads out.
It's a whole hat.
It's a whole hat, yeah.
I'll take the hat.
There we go, off the line. Jack Shanahan to lead out. Oliver Randalou for a spot in the Great 8 Awards and the 3rd in the championship. Still alive for one of them, and look at that. Shanahan with shallow angle. Randalou says, let's go for it, and pushes him to more angle. They fire through into outside zone 4. Randalou goes for it once again. He knows he needs to be business with Jack Shanahan. He flexes the front bumper on the wheel of Jack Shanahan. Down the inside again, Randalou shuts it down, almost puts the car into the wall, and Shanahan is up and gone.
That was interesting. There's a lot going on in that run, and I think a bunch that we can dive into. And
Shanahan pulls back up to the line. Randalou pulls up to lead them out. It looks like they're going to get the green light ready to go as Oliver Randalou from Estonia comes off the line. Jack Shanahan to chase him down a spot in the top 8 awaits for one of these guys as they fire through. Look at this huge separation. Oliver Randalou is up and gone now. Has Shanahan been told to hold back, or did he make a mistake on initiation? Look at this. Oliver Randalou pulling a gap on Jack Shanahan. He's not even in the question. Now starts to rein him in. Starts to find the side of the Estonian's BMW. This isn't looking good for either of these guys. Shallow on the outside zone is Oliver Randalou, but now Shanahan finds the door of the BMW.
I caught you on the transition.
Well, there we go. It's slide left for Shanahan, right for Randalou. It's going to be Jack Shanahan. Jack Shanahan gets the win, advances through. Pavel Koblinski out now because Jack and James have made their way through our top 16. There we go, no messing around, straight into it. Laurie Heinen to lead them out as they fire around that first long bit of track into outside zone 1, in and on the wall. Oh, contact once again. These two guys exchanging blows left, right and centre. They fire through that inside zone, back out to outside zone 4 as Shanahan goes for the front wheel. Look at Shanahan driving clever, shallows off the angle, then flicks it to angle, keeps with Heinen the whole way through, almost takes the back end off the car as they fire into outside zone 6. Heinen on a flyer, but look at this, it opens the door once again for Connor Shanahan.
The water coming from the back of that car. And the leak is present once again, and it is absolutely pouring now from the corner of that vehicle.
Yeah, and Heinen's asking Shanahan will get the win and advance.
That is rough. I know Connor's probably like, can we give him a few minutes? Can we get, hey, well, I got the win, but it feels half-hearted, because you want to beat them heads up.
Well, there we go. We have to make it official, and it will be Connor Shanahan getting the win. And I apologise for our overlay on graphics there. Some confusion. Everyone's getting excited.
Yeah.
It's the final. Here we go. We make it official, and it will be Connor Shanahan getting the win. Laurie Heinen, bows out of competition. And another mechanical for Heinen. Now faces off against a legend.
He's like this all weekend. I don't know how he does it.
No, so nor do I, but here we go. We're going to find out how he's going to do it right now. They come off the line and through the gears. It's going to be Alan Hines to fire in that S15. He gets into that first outside zone and tickles the wall with the back end. And now Naoki Nakamura starts to find the side of that green and white S15. They fire into outside zone 4. Nakamura with him once again as Alan Hines shallows up the angle. And it looks like he struggles there for a little bit of pace and grip, and now starts to unwind and uncoil the spring as they get into outside zone 6. Naoki Nakamura can't can't be shaken. Hines on a very shallow line. He tries to bowl away, but he can't get away from him. Now sits in the lead position. Alan Hines to give chase. Will he try and repay the favour? Will he paint a stripe up the side of that GR86 as he almost pushes Nakamura off the start line? They burst through the gears, flames erupt. They go for it as they fire in. Nakamura starts to pull a gap already on Alan Hines as he has to shallow up the angle, fire that car in and flick it to angle. They fire through that inside zone, back into outside zone 4 as Nakamura shallows up the angle, now starts to wind on the angle, the grip in full effect as he fires through the middle of the circuit. Alan Hines looks like he's playing chase with a mouse right now. He can't hang with Nakamura. Shallows up the angle once again as he puts it to the line. If he wants a decision, slide him left for Hines, right for Nakamura. Who's it going to be? It's one vote for Naoki Nakamura. It's going to be Naoki Nakamura taking it through to the final 4 and the first driver into. Both have been on the podium in third spot in this stadium. Town hero from Warsaw reigns supreme as they come off the line. It is Pavel Korpolinski to lead them out. They both go for an aggressive initiation. Korpolinski straight into it, and he knows that LZ's fast. He's turned that car up to 100 right now. They fire through the middle of the circuit. Look at Korpolinski bathing smoke from the back of that car as they get into outside zone 4. LZ tries to hang with him. He tries to dial on the angle, flicks it to more angle, and it's a mistake from LZ as he has to shortcut through the centre of the circuit. Korpolinski gets into outside zone 6, but he keeps it off the wall. It's clean, it's surgical from the surgeon as he puts it across the line. To push hard, or will he hang back? That's the big question. Will he hold off 10%, or will he know that this means more than to hold off? And they go for it, they creep off the line. LZ to lead out Pavel Korpolinski for a spot in the final 4, awaits for one of these drivers. They fire into that first outside zone. LZ into the wall, takes the back end off the car, and a groan from the judges erupts as he disposes of the back end of that car on inside zone 3. Korpolinski does hold back, now starts to rein him in. He knows that LZ's made a few mistakes. He can see the errors creeping in, and Korpolinski's just going to stamp all 40 on it right at the end of the run. They get into outside zone 6. There's a tag on the wall from LZ, and Korpolinski holds back once again as he jumps onto the back bumper across the line. For Adam LZ, it's one vote for Korpolinski. It's Pavel Korpolinski taking the win and advancing through to.
Yeah, it's been crazy to see how his weekend has at least ended, because it's a trust fall you can accept.
It certainly is. Well, they're off the line and through the gears. Shanahan to lead out Espen Road. No messing around as he flicks that car into initiation. It's a nice line already for Connor Shanahan. He's got it dialed. Espen Road, though, keeping up with him, keeping the front end of that BMW E46 into the door and into the pocket as he flicks that car to angle to outside zone 4. Shanahan almost the whole of that GT86 in outside zone 4 as Espen Road kicks the clutch and tries to pick up the speed across the circuit, back into it once again on the transition to outside zone 6. The young Norwegian is not going to go down without a fight, that's for sure, as they go bumper to bumper across the line.
With that fresh air, and let's see what he does with it.
Yeah, well, here we go. They get off the line. It's Espen Road to lead out Connor Shanahan for a spot in the final 4 away. So Shanahan would love it nothing more than to be in there. But look at that big separation. Now reins in the Norwegian. Holds back ever so slightly. He's a little reserved. Is Shanahan, and then he goes for it. The big dive into outside zone 4. Glues it together as he nudges Espen Road in that outside zone. Just to remind the young gun, he's still there. He's still with him as they fire into outside zone 6. Connor Shanahan's transitions don't make any sense. He's not going to give up without a fight, that's for sure, as he puts bumper to wheel across the line. Norwegian from Ireland. Here we go, side of left for Shanahan, right for Espen Road. Connor Shanahan gets one vote. It's Connor Shanahan getting the win, advancing through to the final.
This is how it goes. Give it to me.
2025. Wow. So this isn't all over for James Dean, but it could be all over for Jack Shanahan. They're off the line. This means more to both of them than ever before as they fire in to this first outside zone. Shanahan knows he can trust Dean. They've drove together constantly all season, off season. They taught each other the tricks of the trade. Jack was the master, and he understeers into the wall. Unbelievable.
What just happened to Jack Shanahan? Well, James Dean coming around this last zone, and he's going to see the sight of his neighbor.
The contact with the wall, we're going to make it official. Slide of left for James Dean. It's the only way it can go. Jack Shanahan out of competition. To see James Dean walking back up to see Jack Shanahan. Jack unable to carry on with the wheel destroyed on the front of the car.
Yeah.
he's saying as you come off the line, be careful. He's showing Nakamura there's oil. Six as they come off the line. This is it. A spot in the final awaits. Will it be Poland? Will it be Japan? They flick the cars from left to right and in to outside zone one. Nakamura shallows off the angle, gets himself into the wall but deals with it as Korpolinski once again clean. The surgeon puts on a clinic out front and opens the door for Nakamura, and he certainly does open the door as Nakamura takes a step in, he takes a step out and then back in again as Nakamura plays with Korpolinski. The grip in that car is phenomenal as Korpolinski dials on the angle, tries to shake the Japanese driver, but there's no losing Nakamura. My turn to lead. Can I open the door for the surgeon? Can I give him an opportunity? On the line, the cars come off the line and through the gears. Nakamura will lead out Pavel Korpolinski as they fire into the initiation. Korpolinski goes earlier than Nakamura and uses that to fire the car up into the door of that GR86 as they come through that inner zone. Korpolinski takes the bumper off on the wall. Korpolinski's not messing around as he drags it around the circuit. He now tries to get closer to Nakamura as they fire through. Korpolinski is not messing around. He wants this more than ever. A shot for the final awaits for Korpolinski. But look at Nakamura as he flicks it to angle. He knows on his face says it. Oh, here we go. Start of left for Korpolinski, right for Nakamura. It's a one more time for David Kalas. It's going to be a one more time. Wow. It's a one more time. The art of drifting. The first time these two went head-to-head, proves to everybody he is worth it, he is the champion, and this is why he's here. They fire into initiation, James Dean goes for it, and look at Shanahan, he's not going to back down, he's already on the front wheel of that Ford Mustang as they come through the inner zone. Both guys risk it all on the wall as they fire into outside zone 4. Shanahan with Dean, there's no getting away as Dean in and out of the zone, pumping the back bumper along the wall as they fire into outside zone 5 and across the circuit to 6. Shanahan's with him the whole way. You can't even see him as they come through their own smoke. They flick the cars to angle for outside zone 7 and across the line. There we go, they're back on the line. It will be Connor Shanahan to lead out James Dean. As they see Shanahan now leads out James Dean for a spot in the final awaits. Oh, and the door pops open on James Dean's Mustang. Can he get a hold of it? He can, and he slams it closed before initiation. Gets himself in to that first outside zone as James Dean now starts banging doors with Connor Shanahan. They fire through into outside zone 4. Dean holds back and now makes the dive. Now goes for the side of that GT86 as Shanahan deep into the zone. They both bang wheels. They come through the centre of the circuit. Bumper to bumper transition. Dean onto the wheel, onto the door. There's no messing around. Shanahan is on a perfect line. Dean buries the headlight into the front of the car.
Oh man, that's one of those, like, you know what? I don't know.
We have, and here we go. Slide of left for Shanahan, right for James Dean. It's one vote for Connor Shanahan. It's going to be Connor Shanahan heading to the final of DriftMasters 2025. And once again, in the final to battle it out for the top step.
Or does he fall back to the precision that he knows so well?
There we go. We're off the line, we're about to find out as Pavel Korpolinski flicks the car across the circuit. Look at that, Nakamura straight line initiation, dives straight in, dips the car down, now works his way into the door and on to the rear bumper. Pavel Korpolinski's S14. Korpolinski seems to have turned that car up, more grip than before, and it looks like Nakamura now struggling to keep up, but he does make some dives in outside zone 4. He's going to make a dive here across the circuit, and he does. As they get into outside zone 6, Korpolinski goes for it, absolutely flying, and once again Nakamura loses ground across the line.
Replace it later. We got a whole off season to take care of this.
Right.
You know, send it to the moon.
Speak hardly any English, so miscommunication between our Polish start line marshal and our Japanese driver. Here we go, off the line though, no messing around. Nakamura bangs through the gears. Look at the aggression already from both guys. As Korpolinski fires in, he's on the inside of the circuit. He needs to regain some lost ground in outside zone 1 as they flick through. Play dangerous game as they squeeze those cars alongside the wall into this long outside zone 4, door to door, wheel to wheel, as Nakamura flicks the car to angle, looking for outside zone 5. Korpolinski hunting him down on the handbrake, getting that car set up for outside zone 6 as they now go wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper. There's no messing around as Nakamura flicks it to the wall. Korpolinski right for Nakamura. It's one vote for Korpolinski. Pavel Korpolinski goes to the final of DriftMasters 2025 to fight. This could be the evening where it all comes alive for him, but can the man from Ireland first? They're off the line. This is it. The third step on the podium awaits for one of these drivers as they slam through the gears. James Dean flicks the Ford Mustang Mustang across and into outside zone 1, but Nakamura is flawless as always, into the door already, as Nakamura won't let James Dean get away. They flirt with danger on the wall as they get into outside zone 4. James Dean on the throttle, on the zone, in the wall, and on contact with Naoki Nakamura as they get across the circuit into outside zone 6. James Dean dials on the angle, but his contact, and did that upset the line from James Dean as they get into 7 across the line.
This is the type of battle that both of them have been looking.
They're both positioned.
Yeah, and James already aggressive in the chase before Marcin even dropped.
Nakamura's put up a steely fight tonight, but so has James Dean all season. They come off the line, ready to go as both cars hop off the tarmac, into gear and through across the circuit. Nakamura fires in. James Dean knows he can't let him get away. Oh, they both make contact with the wall and each other as Dean flexes the back end of that Mustang. They shallow up through inside 3, now back onto it, into outside zone 4. James Dean on the door, tagging Nakamura, not messing around, letting him know he's there, but Nakamura seems to have a little bit more pace in that car as he squeezes the throttle, tries to drive away from James Dean. It's so clean from Nakamura as he dials on the angle. Dean finds the door across the line. Options in, left for Dean, right for Nakamura. It's one vote for Nakamura. It's Naoki Nakamura getting the win and taking 3rd step on the podium. That means James Dean finishes up in 4th place here at DriftMasters, and take him down. Will Pavel Korpolinski, the hometown hero, finally.
The place will erupt the moment these lights go off for the final set of runs in 2025.
Well, here we go. They're off the line and through the gears. It's going to be Korpolinski to lead out Shanahan for a spot on the top step of the podium, and they get into it straight away. No messing around as Shanahan fires his GT86 onto the door of Pavel Korpolinski. Brave transitions from the Irishman as the Polishman puts the bumper to the wall and leads them around the outside zone. They look for 5, they transition for 6. Shanahan goes for it. He's not messing around. He wants to get the job done right here, right now, as he goes for it once again. Both onto the wall and across the line. Potentially. We don't even. Everyone around the stadium is on the edge of their seat to see who'll be crowned the winner of round 7. Pavel Korpolinski creeps off the line. They slam through the gears. Shanahan to lead out Korpolinski for the final time in 2025. They hammer into that first outside zone. They both take a shallow line. They both want to drive away from each other. Korpolinski's on the door. They go bumper to bumper on the transitions. Korpolinski tucks up into formation on outside zone. He dials more angle on it than Shanahan does in outside zone 4. They fly through outside zone 5, and once again the transition makes no sense as Shanahan goes for it. Look at Korpolinski on the front wheel. He wants this more than ever as Korpolinski climbs the front wheel of Shanahan's 86 across the line. And for Connor Shanahan, it's 1 vote for Korpolinski. It's a 1 more time from Vernon. It's a 1 more time. We're gonna go at it again.
Making that choice. Stick.
Feel how Shanahan is in the lead and the chase. It's time for him to lead them out. This is it. This is for the final of DriftMasters, Red Bull DriftMasters finale here in Poland. They fire in as Korpolinski leads them through. Shanahan onto the door already. Korpolinski turns the heat up to 11, goes close to the wall, hoping that Shanahan can't make it through, but he does. And Shanahan dials in the angle. Korpolinski makes an error, wobbles away from the wall, and that's the first chink in the armour we've seen from the Polishman as he fires in to outside zone 6. Shanahan's with him. They both wobble once again as Shanahan fires through the smoke, looks for Korpolinski, but he's out of the outside zone of the Red Bull DriftMasters grand finale here at the PGA Narodowy Way in Poland.
Take the chance. What do you do in this moment?
You go for it. That's what you do, and you go for it right now. You come off the line. Everybody here in Poland is on their feet. They're ready for it. They're excited for it as Shanahan fires in that GT86 into that first outside zone. Korpolinski goes for it. Dials on the angle, almost goes backwards into that first outside zone. They come through inside zone 3. Back onto it once again. Korpolinski can't shake Shanahan. They're on it door to door. Shanahan goes nice and deep into outside zone 4, but he now tries to drive away from the Polishman, but he can't seem to as he checks up to going into outside zone 6. A tag on the door from Korpolinski. They go wheel to wheel. Korpolinski trying not to make contact, and they shallow up the angle across the line.
This is one of those situations where both drivers know.
Winner of round 7. Slide him left for Korpolinski, right for Shanahan, and it's going to be Connor Shanahan. Yeah! Connor Shanahan wins round 7 of DriftMasters 2025. And this is how it stands. The top, the result. results for the final of DriftMasters round 7. Connor Shanahan gets the win. Pavel Korpolinski takes second place. Naoki Nakamura takes third. James Dean comes fourth. What a day, what a weekend, what an event. And there we go, as we tumble down the order of how these guys finished up. And you can see every single driver championship. And this is the driver standings, the final time you'll see him in 2025. Shanahan wins it with 490 points. Peter comes into second place with 406. And Jack Shanahan takes third with 351. Pavel Korpolinski ended up leapfrogging James Dean to take fourth in the championship. But look at that. Look.